All right, we are back once again, ready to hop on into game number 3 between SpyderSlayer and Winter.
Games are tied at 1-1. This is the best of 5 series, so either player needs to take 2 more wins in order to close this match out and go up against Desro in the grand finals of this tournament. And it looks like the lobby is readied up, and we're going to get started here.
Clicking that button.
Yep, it's going to be on Deadwing.
So SpyderSlayer came out and had a really good first game, playing some trickery, and Winter overall had the better, longer game. In the second game, exercising a little bit more control, staying 1 step ahead of his opponent.
Yep.
Now, SpyderSlayer is going to have to figure out something to rein that back in, because getting down 2 to nothing against Winter is going to be a bit of a hole to try and climb out of.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think that SpyderSlayer is going to want to try and set the tone for the rest of this if he wants to have a shot at it, because Winter, and I think Winter is actually happy to let him set the tone of these matches, so that because he likes to show that he can react to these things. He even said in his interview, "I'm going to let you pick whatever you want to do, and I'll just kind of react to that and show you that I'm the better player." And I think that's how he's going to play out the rest of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll see what they end up doing on the big map, which is Deadwing, and in the upper left-hand corner of that map, we are going to have our dark blue player. His name is Winter.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, dropping game number 2, it is SpyderSlayer.
So, as we mentioned, this is one of the larger maps here, so it is not going to be as easy to get these real quick ling runs across the map to the other person's base. You're going to lose a lot of time in actually getting them across there if you're going to do some kind of timing attack. So, a little bit more, expecting a little bit more of a longer game here.
It could be, but I mean, these players have shown that they like to be aggressive early, and I think that if they're able to figure out where the other person is, they may continue that trend.
Yeah.
So Overlords are beginning their quick, or slow rather, march across the map, trying to find where the other person is.
They're both going the opposite direction of where the opponent is. Second one headed straight across the map, going to make a nice cross diamond shape in the fog of war. Gas coming down here first for SpyderSlayer, as well as an expansion here simultaneously at his natural, so it looks like he's gonna be no pool yet. Winter getting pool first. We've seen him do this many times in the past. Likes to get that second base shortly thereafter, as he just did, and get some queens, get some couple zerglings just to scout around the map. So it's going to be a pretty useful build on this map, so he can get out there, get some vision.
Both players sitting at 15 drones. They're pretty equivalent builds in terms of they're really on top of making their drones. 2 zerglings now coming out for Winter to do that scout across the map, try and figure out what his opponent's up to.
Yeah, both of the Overlords now here are going to have a high five in the center of the map. The spawning pool for SpyderSlayer is about to finish up here. Queen's just about to complete for Winter, so a little bit ahead in that regard. But he is going to have some more gas. I'm not sure exactly what he's planning to do with that yet.
Yeah, he hasn't pulled.
Unless he is going to be putting down here some Zergling speed relatively quickly. There it goes. And he does pull all but 1 drone out of the gas, which oftentimes indicates that he's going to be looking for banelings after this, sometimes roaches, but it's usually only if he puts at least 1 more drone back into the gas at some point.
So metabolic boost going down there for SpyderSlayer. He's once again ahead of his opponent in getting that, but it doesn't always make the difference. Metabolic boost is now going down for Winter as well, so he's not going to have nearly as big of a speed advantage as he has had in previous games.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be that big of a deal, as it is only a few seconds behind, and Winter's going to see a couple Zerglings from SpyderSlayer going to be hitting across. You know, these 4 Zerglings early for SpyderSlayer did prove to be quite useful last game, because he was able to trap his queen, and the queen's going to be heading off creep. SpyderSlayer hasn't noticed, it doesn't look like.
And those Lings are trying to get a drone kill. They did manage to do so. And 2 drone kills. Now they're going to try and go for the queen. Oh no, they're going to try and finish up getting that drone.
A little bit of indecision there, pulling back and forth, taking a couple extra shots from that queen, but does end up getting a 4th drone kill. So little bit sloppy here in the control by Winter, letting 5 total drones kill. So that was definitely worthwhile, getting 1 more drone kill than he had Zergling. So that's going to set the pace of the game here a little bit slower for Winter, but we'll see how he ends up reacting here.
Baneling Nest is just about to wrap up for SpyderSlayer. Baneling Nest has started for Winter, so there's a little bit of a gap there, but Winter is moving forward with a lot of Zerglings here.
Yeah, definitely I think would have been useful for SpyderSlayer to even save one of his low health Zerglings over at Winter's base, so that he would have had that there to be able to morph into a Baneling and be able to take advantage of that earlier Baneling Nest. But SpyderSlayer's got to be really careful with these queens. They're off creep, and all the Zerglings from Winter are coming across. He does not want to lose one of those. One Baneling is wrapping up. Could be a surprise to Winter if he comes in here. And it, oh, that was so
good control. You got him out of there, yeah.
Yeah, that was really close.
Baneling Nest is now wrapping up for Winter, so we're going to see this Zergling battle. 2 Zerglings are heading forward, trying to pop those Banelings, and SpyderSlayer is not biting, so the rest of Winter's lings are retreating a bit.
Winter going for that earlier layer. I mean, last game he did that. He ended up going for the earlier Spire, and he didn't make that many Mutalisks, but it was just enough to sort of nullify the numbers of roaches for SpyderSlayer.
Absolutely, and I don't think that SpyderSlayer is actually going to be anticipating this, as he is getting his +1 melee attack. So he, I think, is anticipating a longer Ling-Baneling battle.
Well, that could work out in his favor, too, because if SpyderSlayer finds the right time to attack while Winter's been saving up some... Oh, one Bane that does go down takes out 2 Lings. While Winter's been saving up some money for some kind of tech, and it can catch him off guard or at a weaker moment. But looks like a couple Banelings are going to be morphed in here at the natural expansion for Winter, targeting down that queen. All the drones coming back, taking major damage on these drones. Winter, he's mineral piling them there, and the Zerglings of Winter going to come in and be able to defend this. But one Baneling does pop. No drone losses here for Winter, though. There are a lot of Zerglings. SpyderSlayer does have, I thought he had 1 more Baneling around here somewhere, but it must have wandered it in there. Did quite a bit of damage to those drones, but was not really able to kill many. If we look at the workers lost, it is 6 for workers killed, 6 for SpyderSlayer, 0 for Winter. So SpyderSlayer still is ahead in the workers killed. If we look at the units lost, other one, it is 17 Zerglings for SpyderSlayer.
So the Spire is half done now for Winter, and once again, I don't think that SpyderSlayer is going to have a whole lot to be able to deal with it. He's really anticipating a big Baneling push here, or a Zergling Baneling push, as he's got a decent wall set up here around his natural base, and in come the Lings from Winter. He does have that Overseer, so now SpyderSlayer is aware that that layer is there. I don't think he has eyes on that. Yeah, he has no idea about that Spire.
Massive connection here, taking out a lot of the Zerglings at SpyderSlayer's natural. SpyderSlayer does have some Zerglings whacking away at the 3rd base of Winter, trying to get that expansion down to have a higher economy for the Mutalisk. Does end up having to cancel it, loses the drone. 1 Mutalisk in production here. Winter has saved up about enough for 7 or 8 Mutalisks if he ends up making it, but he is under quite a bit of pressure. Has Banelings from SpyderSlayer going right after the drones, going up the ramp. It's in a really great spot. Needs to make a connection.
What? Yeah.
Oh, missed opportunity there. Could have really
Indeed.
done a lot of damage to those drones, but he still does have, does lose 7, 8 drones now for Winter. So if SpyderSlayer can hold on to these Mutalisks from Winter, he can have a really big advantage here, taking out a lot of drones.
But Winter does have Mutalisks on the field. 5 more are in production, and SpyderSlayer just is going hard Zergling. That's all he's doing right now, is just continuing to make Zerglings. He knows that he's got a lot of drone kills and wants to continue this aggression.
And that can work because SpyderSlayer does have a decent economy behind this, so he can put up a lot of static defenses to kind of protect that, make some extra queens to deal with these Mutalisks, because right now Winter has to keep those Mutalisks back to protect what economy he does have here. So he has lost 17 drones here, with several more getting close to being dead. 19 total. More Lings coming in from SpyderSlayer. He's going for the death blow here. Natural expansion is getting low. Lings going in against the drones. Drones trying to walk right through the middle of them while the Mutalisks are taking their shots. And so many drones.
Yeah, but honestly, like, only now is the drone count actually equalizing between the two, as SpyderSlayer was very far behind in drones, but now there's a lot of drones being killed. and Winter dropping to around 20.
SpyderSlayer continuing to send these lings across the map. He is in full-on ling production, but he does have to remember that he has to defend against these Mutalisks once he does get down here. It would certainly serve him to have a Baneling here, but it takes a long time for those Morph. The Mutalisks would take it out, but he's still going for more drone loss. 44. Winter running the drones away from the Mutalisks, so not as easy to defend.
And these lings just are relentless. It's just a stream of ants running across the map here.
Well, looking back at SpyderSlayer's base, he still doesn't really have many defenses against
No,
the Mutalisks.
he doesn't want to use the drones on spores if he can avoid it.
He's going to end up having some trouble here, but I mean, really just the numbers of lings here are what's keeping Winter at bay, but Winter repositioning his Mutalisks here to be able to get some shots at the Zerglings on their way into the base. He does have some of his own now.
And there are 11 Mutalisks on the map.
GG
Oh, wow.
from Winter. So the economic damage, too much for Winter to handle. He did have so many Mutalisks, but the timing of SpyderSlayer getting those Zerglings in there was just enough to make it not even possible for Winter to move out with them.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a real good decision by SpyderSlayer to decide to go all Zergling in. But Winter really would have won that game, honestly, if he had done anything else, because those Mutalisks were on the field. They were ready to do tons of damage,
yeah.
and SpyderSlayer was nowhere near having anything to counter that.
And honestly, it was really smart of SpyderSlayer to not make the Spore Crawlers, not spend the drones, not spend the time and resources to make the defenses against those Mutalisks. He knew he had those trapped back there and was just keeping his larvae going towards the Zerglings, because every time they'd get cleared up, he'd have another batch that would come in, and that would keep them back there and just keep doing that damage. So really great, smart play by SpyderSlayer there.
Yeah, but Winter is not out of this yet. He's still got at least one more chance.
Yep.
It's 2-1 now, and this is a best-of-5 series, so he can easily still take this, and he's definitely the favorite in this. SpyderSlayer is the underdog for sure in this matchup.
Yep, absolutely. So we will be taking a quick break here, but before we do, we want to take a second to remind you one more time to go ahead and check out MythLogic sometime. They are at mythlogic.com or on Twitter at MythLogic. They make some really awesome custom gaming laptops. They are local here to Detroit. They are in Ypsilanti, Michigan. And they have helped support this tournament, and we would love it if you would go out and support them as well. If nothing else, say thanks. So with that, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back and get game number 4 rolling.
That's right.